Yeah, obviously, I'm hurting right now, hurting for our city, hurting for our organization, hurting for those guys in that locker room. I know they put their heart and soul into it, and to keep coming out on the negative end is quite challenging. I thought we had some guys that stepped up, in particular in the secondary, and did some good things. Shamar, I thought overall played a solid game. There were some good things we did. We ran the ball exceptionally well. We had two opportunities in the early on in the game to score touchdowns down there in the red area. We weren't able to do that, and I think really that became really the difference in the game.
Yeah, what happened on the because of two timeouts early in the third quarter? Was it 12 men, and then what was?
Yeah, we had a substitution error defensively. That can't happen. And then we had a play call that we ran out of a personnel grouping due to some injuries that we had to try to make some adjustment there. So those are two things that can't happen.
What was the goal in the 4th and 4 play call towards the end?
Well, the goal was to try to hit Juwan on an option route inside.
And then the fourth down before that, the 4th and 1, did you guys consider maybe trying to go for it? Or?
Yeah, we thought we talked about it. I mean, look, with where we were in the game. I mean, I felt like pinning them back there was the right decision. Hindsight's 20/20. But I thought pinning them back there was the right decision.
You did talk about on the last play. Is the progression to go from Juwan to the deep ball, or Juwan someplace else to get the first down there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking inside Juwan, but if you got a matchup outside. But I think the initial thought was let's get the ball to Juwan on an option route.
How do you come back from a game like this? You had your quarterback back, and obviously you were facing a team.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it was hard. I mean, I just watching Derek, he looked a little rusty out there today. Obviously, and losing Chris early on in the game, I think was hard on us. And I think sometimes trying to get yourself emotionally back from things like that when you see a guy that going down with the second time in the season, I think it's kind of difficult to come back from that. But we had our opportunities, we didn't take advantage of them.
There's been a tweet that a lot of people will join you guys traveling back. Any update?
Yeah, I know he's back, and I know that everything checked out pretty good at the hospital, and he's back with the team, and that's really about all I can say right now.
When you've lost 7 straight, what gives you hope that the team can turn things around without making major changes?
Yeah, well, we got good leadership in the room. We got to do a better job playing, coaching. Hopefully get some guys healthy. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge. But going through adversity like this reveals character. And our only choice is to stand up and fight.
You've said before you don't believe that mid-season coaching changes do anything, or I know that's not your exact wording, but do you still believe that, or do you believe that you need to sit down and assess?
Well, I just think we got to do better, But yeah, as a rule, I don't really believe that is the difference. So we'll evaluate where we are. And we'll make changes based on what we think our, issues are.
You mentioned a lot of times last week about offensive penalties in key spots, and I never saw them again down the stretch here. Like, how do you guys get those cleaned up?
Well, we got to execute with better technique. I thought there were some tough calls, later in the game that, didn't go our way. And so I thought that was hard.
Can you elaborate on any of the specific calls?
No.
Or maybe the Allen call, is that one you're thinking of?
There was, obviously we didn't get the calls at the end of the game, so that was difficult.
Can y'all kind of explain the, I know you already went through the fourth down call at the end. Can you kind of take us through the 3rd and 13 when it was a pitch to Alvin? It seemed like that was kind of like a tough play. That was when you got a yard.
Yeah. I think when you're backed up like that, the deal is to have positive play. I'd rather us not run out of bounds in that situation, which then eats up a timeout. So I think that was the thought there.
Dennis, I mean, obviously the spotlight is heavily on you right now, the
Sure.
head coach during this. What, to campaign or defend yourself or anything, but like, what is your confidence that you're doing a good enough job?
Well, obviously, when you're not winning, it's hard to say that you are. I mean, that's hard to say. And look, I got to be better for our guys. And here's what I'll say: I'm going to keep coming in every day and fighting my ass off, just like I have every single day that I've been here. And I'll just keep doing that.
I know we've asked similar questions to this, but do you feel like now you kind of have to fight for your job? Like,
I feel like I'm going to come in and try to do the very best job I can every single day. That's what I've always done. I've been here for a long time, and that's the way I've gone about doing my job. So.
Have you heard from Nikki or anything already? Like, do you know?
No, I came in here after visiting with the team. I came pretty much straight in here.
I don't feel like the questions in this game, just from the naked eye, were the same kind of effort, energy questions we were talking about after maybe that Thursday night game. From your viewpoint, did all that stuff look intact to you today?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of effort issues. I didn't see a lot of busts. We got beat a couple of times, but I didn't see it as a huge execution issue. There's some, again, I thought, particularly there in the fourth quarter, wasn't this way early on in the game, but particularly in the fourth quarter, I thought some calls went, against us that, again, put us back in those long distance situations, which are hard to overcome.
Yeah, can you elaborate a little bit more on the first 2 drives of the game? I think you guys ran like 21 plays or something like that. Got into their deep in their territory, but come away with field goals and felt like that. Those are drives you really need some touchdowns that it kind of established.
Yeah, look, I said that. Starting off in here, I felt like that was the difference in the game. I thought we had some opportunities to score touchdowns early in the game. We had to settle for field goals, and that ends up being the difference. Again, I thought the first 2 drives we were able to run the ball effectively and move the ball down the field, and then we stalled out in the red zone, and that's, that's the difference between winning and losing.
Do you have to kind of account for just, I guess, what seems like an obvious thing? The quarterback's been out for a few weeks and coming back and kind of account for the rust he's going to have and build a play sheet around.
Yeah, and yet, look, I mean, I didn't see a lot of issues throughout the week of practice, but obviously games are different than practice, and I think our plan was to be able to come in here and try to run the football, and we were able to do that. I don't, think we were able to get quite as much done in the passing game. I think Chris is a big factor in that, but I don't think we were able to get quite as much done in the passing game as we would have liked.
Did you expect to be able to affect their quarterback more? I think there was maybe 2 sacks if you include this.
Yeah, I thought maybe we could. I know, look, their plan, really was trying to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands pretty quickly. So, some screen plays and things of that nature to, not allow, the rush to get there. So, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen us, be able to affect him a little bit more.
Knowing how this team played the first 2 weeks, can you wrap your head around 7 straight?
Yeah, it's certainly frustrating, I felt like we let a couple of opportunities slip through our hands early on. And I felt like the injuries have been a major factor in the last probably 5. But that's the nature of our league.
Were you asked about Carr's arrest?
Excuse me?
Were you asked about Carr's arrest?
Yeah. All good. All right, thanks.